Good evening and welcome to the New Orleans TV Internetwork System. Tonight's program is Royal Review. I'm your host, Bob Bockelman, and you're presently watching a split screen of myself with our logo behind us for the program, and the other half is the actual lineup for the Crew de VIEUX, standing, of course, for Crew of Old, Crew of Move, Crew of View, KREWE. And we will be attempting to bring the 19 floats to you as promised, live. The first one's already there. Notice they're all drawn by horses or mules, which is, of course, our old traditions. Crew de VIEUX started in 1987, for those who's not aware, so it's 35 years old. And it's always been known for, first of all, its satire, sarcasm, which is several of our major parades do or used to do, sometimes attacking politicians, local, statewide, and national, also attacking topical comments. And Crew de VIEUX has really pushed the limits to almost, we won't call it pornography, but certainly visuals and audios of things that normally will not be shown on our other full-length family parades. So this has always been known as an adult parade, even though people bring their children today to expose them to everything. I remember the most significant parade I saw of Crew de VIEUX was early on, before it got into the more sexual, scatological content, where they satirized, unfortunately, the deceased celebrities. And the king and queen was a combination of Elvis and Jane Mansfield, who unfortunately lost her head to a 18-wheeler ahead of her coming to New Orleans. But it had satirical comments on things of the day. One was the Apollo astronauts who unfortunately were consumed in the fire. The untimely demise of Natalie Wood, boating accident, drowning accident. A filming accident in the Twilight Zone movie where the helicopter came down and did, unfortunately, untold things. So it was an unbelievable, real shocker, early shocker. I don't know what year that was. I should have did more research. But we're not going to dwell on that. But we do want you to be prepared for some of the sights and scenes of tonight's parade. So I wouldn't bring the kiddies, the young children, close to the screen unless you really have an advanced family or progressive family, whatever the terminology is, to expose them to these type of situations. The theme for tonight is going to be, I won't tell you yet the actual title. It's on that first float, which you may or may not be able to read. We will read it to you as it starts. But it's basically talking about the topic of the pandemic and specifically vaccinations and all the different things associated with perhaps the negative of the vaccinations. For those who don't know, the queen of this parade was our chief health officer. For those who, I guess I shouldn't say this, but since we're being irreverent, for those who don't know, I have a visual and hearing problem. And so oftentimes I will not hear the appropriate pronunciation of a word, term, or name. So our chief health officer is called Dr. Avegno, which I unfortunately have interpreted to Dr. Eggnog. So if I say it wrong during the show, I shouldn't repeat it much, since her float would normally be the first or second float. She has continued to reign as queen, but has chosen not to appear. Everyone suspected because of the COVID pandemic still being present, but she's alluded instead to security threats or concerns for herself and her family. And we certainly hope that none of that will be accurate or actual turn into reality. and we wish her well because she's done a significant job in monitoring the data and keeping us informed on a weekly, if not during the week basis of how New Orleans is faring by some of its stricter controls than even the state, the national government, etc., dictated by our mayor and in conjunction with the information which Dr. Avegno developed. So, but that doesn't excuse REVUE for making commentary and or visual and audio on that. So, I guess we should issue our pardon to that, even though they make no excuses, and everyone knows that. And politicians heretofore have been targeted all during the years with some hilarious. Also, there you'll see some references to the gaming, sports gaming just taking effect in New Orleans. So there'll be some other topical things, all of course involving New Orleans. Now you can take a look. You're looking at some of the crowd. Now, when the parade actually starts, we're going to shift instead of 50-50 screen that you're looking at now. I'm going to go down to maybe 25%, and the majority will be the float. So that way you'll be able to focus on the float as well. We want to thank our loyal, faithful Constantine, who's our producer, videographer, and just right-hand man, Leonard Lewis, who's out there, been out there for several hours, setting up his position so that you all can get a close look. I'm hoping that the background noise will not drop out me, but for the most part, the videos will be enough. I will announce each float as it comes into play and maybe make some commentary in case you're having trouble, as I am, in seeing some of the detail on the float. I won't be able to read all the slogans because these floats contain a lot of handwritten stuff. Remember, these floats are all handmade by the members. There's no national association or sponsorship where people are being paid to do this. We will have marching groups as well and bands. So it'll have the same connotation of our regular parades as well as some of the other marching parades. This has just been one of the largest and most renowned because of its reputation. Okay, being around 35 years, consistent and growing ever since. Now, because of COVID, a lot of our parades have been shortened, as well as this one. This one actually starts now, right we're looking in the corner of Canal Street, Elysian Fields, and Royal Street. Very apropos for Royal Revue. Before it normally started further down in the Marigny, French Quarter, then Marigny, Bywater, etc. I don't remember which one of those suburbs or faubourgs that it actually started, but it is shorter on the front end. It will go through the French Quarter and probably end on Canal Street. I'm not aware whether it'll be up and down Canal. A lot of the routes that go on Canal Street have been eliminated or reduced because, again, of our problems with not only COVID, but also the staffing of security by our New Orleans police force. This, I believe, is not considered a city-sponsored parade, so it doesn't have to mandate the police. And unfortunately,
Bob, if you can hear me,
yes, I
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. This is Leonard, everyone.
They'll be starting in a few minutes. They're fixing a harness on one of the floats. They're attaching the mule, and they're having trouble. But as soon as that's done, they'll be getting rolling.
Well, okay. Leonard's telling me basically get ready to shut up. As I mentioned, I'll only be announcing the titles and only something if we need the clarification. But Len, I really appreciate you chiming in there, and we're glad to know. So stay with us, folks. I see our group's building, so you'll be able to see. Remember, we're live, headquartered in New Orleans, coming from the perimeter of the French Quarter on Royal Street and Elysian Fields. Elysian Fields is really the end street of the French Quarter, which starts at Canal Street and runs approximately 13 blocks. And you can hear the crowd is building, so they're getting excited. As he mentioned that hopefully the donkey or the horse, whatever that is, excuse my ignorance, will be firmly settled and ready to move. And we'll be ready to give you the first parade name. They're on
tonight. Y'all made it. Thanks for being here tonight. Thank you. Yes.
There are 19
Thank you for
floats.
being on here tonight.
Sorry about that, but we can't control the crowd. There's 19 floats associated with this, and we'll be giving you the title at least of each one as they come through. Hopefully, you're enjoying it because, again, this year, a lot of the live streaming is not available. Some of the commercial TV carriers who produce these streams on their channels are unable because the parades are not going past their normal filming station, which is down in St. Charles, in the downtown area and uptown area, specifically Endymion. So, for those who want to see Endymion, which is one of the largest, most technological and advanced of the super cruise, that'll be a week from today. Okay, starting at 4:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we have a great position right on the balcony looking at the beginning, and we'll be one of the few, if any, others that will be live streaming that parade. You can make comments on any of the platforms. You know, we do live on 3 of our Facebook, Bob Bockelman, LOTVIN, and The New Deal. Also on YouTube under REVUE, LinkedIn Live under REVUE, and Twitter under Bockelman Bob. So you can watch on any of those the show live. You can always watch the replay on, of course, YouTube, which stays all the time. So we'll be there available should you or any of your friends not know about it. Since we did, this is really considered a pop up. We didn't want to because we didn't know we had enough transmission situations that we would have good connectivity to be able to bring you the program. So the only thing we got to hope is that the crowd doesn't get so large that you don't hear anything of the bands. But again, because of the location where we are, these streets are narrow. It's not like in the full blown. Once it goes on to Elysian Fields, there'll be what we call a neutral ground or a median, and the crowds will be much larger. Len is scanning a little bit to the right. A Louisiana Elysian Fields where it'll be turning, and the crowds will be much thicker from then on. So this is, even though there'll be crowds, because of the space between the curb, sidewalk, and the buildings, there's not a lot more than 1 or 2
They're
feet.
rolling.
Okay, there they are. Let's start. Welcome to the REVUE. Oh, it's going fast. The first one in the title is Vax and Confused. Vax and Confused, as we said. So we're talking all about the controversy of whether you should get a vaccination or confused about it. And that's why our queen, Dr. Begno, the health department, was so appropriate for the parade. Okay, our second will be the goddess of no. No. Notice there's a giant, almost like Hydra with snakes coming out the head. And the no stands for no, could stand for New Orleans, could be no vaccine, could be no pandemic. Marching crew. A small second line band. Yeah, band, trumpet band with a gun. These are marching our parades, just like any, whether it's a marching parade like this or a full float commercial parade. There's somebody in costume. There you go. But you think we've got a pretty good showing for you folks. I think it's coming on nicely. Now here's some. You'll see people on bicycles decorated. Here's another marching crew. I can't read it, but they'll be decorated. And notice they all give out throws. Now most of the throws here are handmade, which makes them a little bit more interesting than the commercially stuff done on the big parades. So, and again, some of them will continue the theme. Now, there's another marching group. Now, let's see if this is the next float. This will be a kind of return of the super spreader. And notice there's a large phallic symbol with a ring around it and being inserted into its natural cavity, or it's searching for cavity. So here's what we're saying. This is kind of the stuff you'll be seeing, and hopefully it's not offensive to you. If it is, please change and go watch some healthy TV. We don't know online stuff, but you're seeing it as it comes live. Here's a marching group. Remember, all of these are people who join the group. They pay whatever they have to participate. They do their own costuming, some of them with themes themselves. They try and keep in the mood of the theme of the parade, but they don't have to. Notice these have notice electric lights Shocking beads are prominent. You'll see a lot of LED light or whatever they call that to light up, whether it's individuals and also the parades. Not only here on this parade, but also on our commercials. You'll see a lot of dancing. Some of it here is arbitrary, individual versus scheduled dancing. Now we don't see any flambos yet. I can't remember if there's any flambos, and we'll discuss those. And here's a young lady who is displaying her best, I guess. Hopefully, we do have people. Diane Harris. Hearing the music, but there's no music yet. It's way in the background. When you get music, we'll hear it. Seeing it, not hearing it, hard to listen to. I'm sorry. I apologize. Remember, we're not professionals. Okay, this next float is Jesus Hot and Ready. Now the band is following it, but again, there's no band yet. So you're not. What you're hearing is things in the distance. There's a young lady. Thanks for those comments, Diane, but that's the nature of this type of parade. Now we're coming up on the next float, and this is called Caesar Hot and Ready. No, it doesn't look like Caesar's Hot and Ready. This instead, excuse me, this one is Hunter Biden's Laundry. Normally the laundry device, for those who know about the scandal about his paintings. So I don't know what happened to Caesar's Hot and Ready. I missed that, but that was relating to our Superdome.
Smile, baby. Smile. Goddamn it, smile. Yeah. Yeah.
Throw us something, mister. Getting out some beads. Okay. We're in between now. Let's see. We're back on target here with regard to which float we should be on. And this was a little rough vote. It's called Spermies follows a viral load. Notice all the COVID symbols, the little floating, whatever those molecules are, and the vaccination thing. But Hermes is a takeoff of one of our favorite national floats. I mean, commercial parades called Hermes, but Spermies is satire between the name of the parade, a satire of the parade, and of course the human ejaculate in a male. Okay, notice that some of these things they're carrying represent different things. So let's see that. Happy folks. These people are so happy to be back on the parade after 2 years, really. Another one of our little second line band. Our marching group. Okay, our next float. No Atlantis, standing for New Orleans Atlantis. So underwater, unfortunately, it has our mayor's representing his head as a giant octopus, always talking about the tentacles, how they have to keep the city protected. Here's some lovely marches. Notice the costumes, very attractive. There's a one for going underwater. Cute, cute. No telling what the lovely handouts you're going to get. That's what's so great about this thing. Diane asked if we'll be at Titrex tomorrow. Unfortunately, no. We have a lot of things. There's so many parades, and so we just come from our fourth ball overnight for the last 4 weekends. Not that you're worried about that, but we'll be posting in advance now the parades that we will do. The big one, of course, is in Disney. Here we go. Here's the larger band. I understand. I said the wrong pronunciation. T standing for petite. PTIT. I'm French and from here in German. I'm just in a rush trying to read because I'm visually impaired to also read your comments. Thank you for the correction. And for those who don't know about the T-Rex parade, it's Rex is the king of Carnival on Mardi Gras Day. It's their version, but done. And I've never seen it. I apologize. But I believe they use shoeboxes, but it's small floats, very well crafted and very well enjoyed. Unfortunately, it's tomorrow, and we will not be live streaming. We may be live streaming a restaurant that we're going to, a new Japanese barbecue restaurant, but not a parade tomorrow. Okay, this next one, this is Comatose. Notice the Statue of Justice, and it's also all the Supreme Court nominees, I believe. There you go. Let's see some of the great costumes there. I guess those are the halls of justice, the robes of our Supreme Court members, or our version thereof. We're very diverse, so we don't have that problem that seems to haunt the Supreme Court justices are always talking about. Ah, look at that one. Double extra in a pedicab. Hopefully, you know what there's a band. Now, notice, folks, these bands don't do complete numbers. These are second line bands. They're mainly there to create some sound, some songs, and they play standards. All right, let's go into the next one. The next one is pump and circumcision. If you notice, you'll see again a phallic symbol rotating there, and other items. Reference to herpes again. There we go. Pump and circumcision, and pump would be probably a penile pump. I don't know too much about those things. I'm too old, so forgive my lack of knowledge in that area. Okay, this is a walking group again. Notice all the costumes, big something deep. There we go. Oh, look at this one, not cute, but is that a unicorn? Yeah, a couple of pair of unicorns. And that bunch. Oh, they got several. Those are the ones where the walkers are inserted. Okay, welcome UFCDW. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a true comment or not, because the name sounds suspicious and the wordings. I'm not going to bring that on. All right, what else we got here? Ladies and maybe men as ladies too. I mean, with no problem with that here.
There you go.
There you go. Look at that, pretty the pink. Oh, she's got a little spray for you. Again, one of our pedicabs is another means of transportation around the city, not just for these parades. Instead of going in a full carriage, you can be transferred by a pedicab, and it's certainly in the quarter and some parts of our city for a price. Once again, Diane, you're correct about the weather. Now, it's supposed to be, I know Lynn's out there, but it's supposed to be dropping, but it was almost 70 today. The temperature is supposed to drop severely tonight to the 40s, and tomorrow is going to be cold again. We up and down on roller coaster time in New Orleans. But at least beautiful 4 days of pretty no rain. Okay, well, we have another pedicab. See, bringing some of the people for them to throw. And he's cute. Not that. I don't know what they, but wing, not pretty butterfly. But they got some lights. There you go. Now this next float is called Buzzed and Bloated. So buzzed, I kind of think related, but I haven't been able to figure that out for this parade, for that float. Perhaps you did. It went quickly, but it was a pink house. Buzzed, of course, I guess means drugs, but it might have had bees. I couldn't see that. And bloated. Again, this is one of the ones I really didn't understand. I don't think it's beyond me. I just don't think I don't see the application with regard to the reference to the float and the title. Okay, here's some more people. Notice they got their light up headpieces giving out stuff. You're missing all that stuff, folks. You got to come to New Orleans sometime. I know a lot of people were scared because of our pandemic, but we're back in business. So if you still got time, it's going to be hard to find places to stay, though. That's the big thing. And also, transportation's a mess during Mardi Gras because you can't get through the parades. Even if I didn't see that, but thank you, Diane. Once again, Diane's our avid commentator here. We love it. Anybody else want to comment? Please do. She's a Facebook person. Okay, this next one should be. I love this house of Fauci. House of Fauci. I think you can see it on. But there you go, Fauci. So it's done again satirical with regard to the current movie based on the Gucci fashion design. House of Fauci. I think that one's really well done, really cute. Here we go again with some more launches. Number 11 float out of 19, folks. So we're just a bit over 50%. So stick with us. Now, there is another parade after this called the KREWE Delusion, which is also a smaller version of this, and with regard to, again, a walking crew. I'm not sure if our loyal filmmaker, PR group can stay, plus especially if there's a delay between the two parades. So we'll stay with us unless you got someplace to go. The only place to be now is here, either further down the road, so you can see it in person, or enjoying this. We do appreciate you coming on board. Don't hesitate to look for my posts on all the channels when we're scheduling the next live stream of a parade. We also do the balls. You go to my link. You can see some of the past shows on the balls, as well as the previous parades, signature throws, etc. Okay, this one is. This is a tough one. Energy can't keep it up. Energy is the name of our utility company for electricity and gas. And notice at the front, and ready for this, folks? Flaccid penis. Okay, energy can't keep it up. Very relevant, and that's relating to the problem of brownouts and electrical disconnection, which we're not unique to having it. But sometimes in the middle of the weather, beautiful weather in the summer, no storms, anything, we'll have brownouts, supposedly unintentional. Anyway, but the only thing that can keep up, I'm going to put my own comment, is the prices. Constantly raising the rates. I know people are bitching, excuse my expression, right now because rates have doubled. There's some great looking costumes here. I can't make out with those, again, from my eyes. Let's see if I can make out with those on the headpieces. With that is maybe anybody can help me. I mean, they're circular things on top of a can. Maybe that's something to do maybe with energy, but I'm not sure. There's our lovely some of our, is that police or security for the parade, not necessarily our police. More of those headpieces. They're really cool looking. Oh, I know. Here I can tell. These are light bulbs. Oh, that's stupid. These are typical light bulbs you screw into your fixtures. Notice the metal part is the actual part that goes into the fixture. You're correct, Diane. We're just a tease, and I'm sorry to do that, but it's better than nothing for anyone who can't come for whatever reason, locally or otherwise. But there's nothing like the real thing. And I'm sure that's some little stupid thing. Anyway. Look you up, Diane. I don't know where are you located? Are you local or not? Something you haven't made. Of course, I can't. I'm not fast enough to check out your profile and see where you're watching from and commenting on. Got a little bit of a pause, folks. Again, you're watching the KREWE to VIEUX, a very controversial, irrespective, 1987 35th anniversary, very satirical. Oh, Diane is advising us she's in Tampa, Florida. It must be nice and warm there, but grew up in Baton Rouge. Okay. Baton Rouge has their version of Mardi Gras like a lot do, and it's a different style and great for Baton Rougeans because a lot of Baton Rouge people only come down to New Orleans for a really special occasion. Now, anything that's convenient, they're going to stay up in Baton Rouge. But it's good for them. We're glad that they have, just like Mobile has theirs, and San Antonio, I believe, has one. Anyway. Diane didn't care for the Baton Rouge parades that much. I would make her go. And the live from New Orleans, this is, one thing that most people get mixed up is we always announce January 6th is King's Day, the beginning of Mardi Gras. That's the beginning, but none of the parades and all start. They're just starting now. And we've had some individual ones before the weekend we run. Nefertiti, you can see archive of YouTube. But next weekend, there won't be too many during the week. Starting next Friday night, there'll be day and night parades. Some of them multiple, 3 or 4 in the day, three at night. Running Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nothing on Monday, one on Tuesday, a couple on Wednesday, Thursday, and then the final weekend with multitudes all the way through Tuesday. So we can't live stream all of these. I apologize because our good friend who does the videography is riding in a lot of these floats. So I might try, but at the same time, I'll do such a horrible job. We'll see we definitely can do some of the others, and that would be King Arthur. And anyway, I'll tell you more if we're actually going to try for the ones where I have to do it by myself. It's hard for me to run the board, as they call it, and also do the filming. I can't go outside and do the filming. I don't have that ability with my. Anyway, that's what I mean. Just trying to keep from dead air. We don't have a lot of music. Even you'll see on the big parades when they have full school bands or professional bands, they don't play. They do play not constantly. And if there's smaller crowds or blocks, they'll just do these same kind of little marching, a lot of drums and maybe some cymbals, but won't do full songs till they know specific places where there's large crowds or very significant intersections. So we're not cheating you by anything by having these. This is very representative of a march, and we have so many marching groups. I'm gonna have to make a list. I know friend Len has it of all the marching groups that we have in New Orleans. It's just phenomenal. In the old days, there were very few. Nowadays, they keep multiplying, just like dominoes. There you go, whatever the proper term is. All right. Ooh, that's an interesting. What is that? Okay, the next float is called Craps Does Its Own Research. Now, again, Craps, of course, is we're not talking about legal gaming. Talking about, if you notice the man, he was it was scatological. He was on the commode. That's why they're doing their research with regard to the COVID. Not one of my favorites since I'm not in the scatology of today's society, but I know it's very popular. Okay, what we got now here? Oh, young got the hop. It's a very popular dance, I see. That was number 13. The next one will be interesting to you because it relates something with regard to Star Wars. Star Wars, of course, is so popular among all age levels. So maybe this will be of one interest to some of our folks who watch. Again, we thank you all for watching. We see we got a pretty good crowd. We'd love to have enough to show up. So tell your friends to watch for the future. Look for our posts and watch us on any of those channels. We have a couple of Mardi Gras groups that we belong to, but they won't They won't allow us to do the live streaming to them. So that's the unfortunate situation where we would have a lot more appeal to some of these groups, especially the out-of-towners who join these groups to get as much information as possible, especially if they're coming to visit. So who knows? Hopefully that'll change. But meanwhile, if you see a link anywhere, catch on that. You can see old shows. Now we go shows all the way back to 2000 when I was on TV for 15 years, but most of those were involving food, music, stuff like things you might not be interested in. The parade stuff is all relatively new, like a couple of years. All right. So this is the one I mentioned called Death Star of David. Or what that means, of course, is Death Star, we know, but of David, notice as a sign of the Jewish cross. So this is being somewhat satirical about the Jewish faith, and I apologize for that. But it's called Death Star of David. So Star of David, and relating it to the TIE fighter. Diane says this, and I'm gonna bring her thing up. Let's see if I can bring this up without. Hopefully, you can read what she says about this particular float. I'm not going to repeat it because I know it's very controversial among. Get to this. All right, there's some folks. Pretty colors. Who knows what they got? If they relate to the float or not, I'm not sure. Oh, that's a tall young lady, huh? Okay. Whoa, she's back. Look at that. Wow, what a costume. She got a kiss as well as the people got a kiss as well as the thing. All right, what we got here now? Michigan. Is that Michigan? Is that the Jewish? I mean, I couldn't read it, so again with my eyes, I'm trying to read about it. We didn't patch that in advance, so again. Got a little bit of pause, folks. I'll let you know you're watching New Orleans TV on the name of the song, and they're really good at some of those songs, but it sounds nice. They can do regular commercial music. Okay. Next one is Fritz in Space. Once again, another name for the male instrument in space. So again, following the Star Wars one. Okay. Number 15. We got 4 more to go. Going relatively quickly. Let's see. We've been broadcasting for 37 minutes. That's not bad. So because it's the beginning, they're anxious to get going, which is good. Because oftentimes they might be a little sluggish at the beginning, but they're anxious to see their crowd since this is a confined space where they're in. But perfect for us because we're getting a close-up view, whereas a poor film videographer would really have trouble getting up close in some of the larger crowds falling down the road. So, anyway, look at these. These are all very diverse costumes, huh? I guess they're all relating to space. Oh, that may be the top of, perhaps we know what that is. The foreskin, I'm not sure. Again, with my eyes. Here we go. Let's see what else. Oh, there's some of those blinky beads we love so much.
Oh, thank you.
Remember, folks, you're getting to hear the crowd asking to the walkers and marchers as well as their reply.
I want to join you for a Facebook Live. So where do I sign up?
Thank you very much. That's the delivery.
All right. Diane is really getting in the swing of these things. Okay, let's see what we got next coming up. Next, number 16. This 16 will be another play on a French term that New Orleans is known for, one of its slogans, as we call it, but it's a little bit of a twist, as we always do. The famous French, I'll give it to you what it's supposed to be, laissez le bon temps rouler. Those who don't speak French, like I surely don't, let the good times roll, baby. There's so many meanings for that in New Orleans, but it's got to be a historical difference. Now, what is Crew de VIEUX saying, laissez le bon temps troller. Trolls. Notice the trolls. There you go. For those, I'm not much on cartoon characters, but I understand who those are.
Okay.
All right, there we go. And then we got some people here. So the trolls. So laissez le bon temps troller. Instead of rouler. There you go. Slight change of words, but a whole different meaning. There we go. Remember, folks, these are all individuals paying for their own costumes, paying to belong to this group, staging the parade with no help other than some of the security is paid for. But not all of it. All right, another band. Again, you're watching New Orleans TV and the network, the Royal Review program, which covers parades, balls, anything related to royalty, as well as some other items. And that's what our logo when you see me back on. See what happens if I put it in this situation. It's probably not worth it for you to see me, and the logo is behind me of the ant on purple background with his. Okay, we're missing one. This was called Trash Day. Notice again our mayor, if you're not familiar with, she's on the center of that. Trash has been a big situation, not only using IDA, first of all, for trash delays not meeting their deadlines, scaling back from some areas like my own from twice a week to once a week. Still, the rates are being the same as what we paid for that, and being blamed on every other unstaffing because of COVID. Meanwhile, these contracts continue to make money and not deliver the service that the city needs. So it's very, very controversial, and it's certainly not a positive for our mayor. That's called Crash Day, so hopefully you caught that, and that's why she's on the setup of this situation. Folks. Anything about whether Crew Delusion is right after and whether he'll stay. I'm going to send him a message as we do it.
All right.
Okay. There we go. Oh, my goodness. Got some stretches there, folks. Now, coming up on the second to last float. And again, this is on something that's very controversial. You'll probably know if you heard the things being taught in our schools or tried to be taught or refused being taught called critical race theory, which, debates on the proper thing. This is actually called uncritical vax theory. So uncritical vaccination theory. Set it up as a gypsy uncritical vax therapy, a takeoff from critical race theory. Of course, both of them are very severe with regard to seriousness of to be vaccinated or not. Uncritical vax theory. Okay? We'll go back to let's stay with that. It's small enough. Okay. What do we have here? Again, I've got one more, folks. Then you can either leave us. I'm hoping when I send him a message, I'm hoping he will respond or whether he's going to be leaving. If Crew Delusion is not immediately following, I'm not expecting him to stay out there because he's been out there for coming up on how many hours? It's about 3 o'clock, so it's 4 hours. That's why to be out there before the parade started. Okay. Again, Crew de VIEUX, live in New Orleans on the corner of Royal Street and Elysian Fields at the beginning or onset of the parade. A long-standing parade since 1987. Very satirical, very irreverent, very topical, anything you want. It's a handmade floats, handmade routes. Our friend Lynn, you've got even a comment from Diane was sweet enough to give you thanks for doing such a good job. And again, I can't help praising what a great situation it is. And I'm hoping everyone who's watching it does appreciate it. Again, not as good as being standing there, but if the weather's turning bad, it might, and there is some chance of sprinkles later on, but hopefully the parade will be finished before those sprinkles, getting into heavier showers late in the night. So, all right, I agree, Diane. Next week is even better. The first weekend of some of the parades. We'll talk about that at another time. Okay, let's see. Here we go. We still got some great. Remember, this is the last float coming up, so I guess these are now we're saying stragglers, but these are the larger ones that are being mixed together, so they can actually be physically part of the parade. Notice that it's so great. These people don't mind stopping to hand some out to talk to the folk, take a picture with them. It's very friendly, very hospitable. That's what our city's about. New Orleans has predominantly got that French hospitality. Infectious for those who come here and don't have a similar situation back home. All right. REVUE 2022 coming up on its final float, we hope. The last one's a cute one. This is one that could be, I guess, for the children as well, because involves a famous Muppet character. You know, everybody knows Muppets. Specifically, the top two Muppets is the Pig Lady. Sorry, I don't know their names, and the Frog. And this will be involved Kermit the Frog. So I'm not going to tell you the title yet, but just going to do a little bit of that. Spank. Spank said that's interesting, huh? No, Spank, not Spank. I'm already putting words into it. Folks, this is just a small taste of Mardi Gras. We have so much going on. The big thing I tell folks, New Orleans is a wonderful city from traditions, but also culture, architecture, food, music. You've heard it all. But the worst thing you can do for yourself is try and say, well, I'm going to New Orleans to see all New Orleans and Mardi Gras. To try and see it simultaneously is horrendous because the city is blocked off. And I don't mean with physical barriers, but these type of things where you can't get around. Very difficult for that. Thank you. Oh, KHD, thank you for joining this crew. Thank you. Where this is on, may I ask where you're coming from? What location? Are you local or are you KHD Interserve? I hope they don't mind me. I don't know what the KHD for. I hope you don't mind, but tell us where you're from because we'd love to know who's here and who's not here, from where they're from. So, KHD Interserve, are you coming from New Orleans? Or are you coming from the outside? But we appreciate that feedback, and hopefully you'll watch some of the others. Like I said, we're slowing down now because nobody wants to. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to pick up to the last float. Again, I hadn't heard back from Lynn. I know he's busy filming to see whether or not Cruise Illusion, which is the smaller walking parade, follows. There's the float, and it's called Ain't Easy Being Resilient. And I didn't see Kermit the Frog in there. Was that the correct one? That should have been the last one. Ain't Easy Being Resilient. And I thought Kermit the Frog was on it, but again, my eyes went too quick for me to catch. These people are all wearing green, which would be the color of the frog, so that might supplement the float as it should.
Thank you.
Oh, Diane tells that Kermit was on the throne. Okay, well, that's what I missed. All right. Notice that there's Renera Jefferson. Oh, what we got here? I'm local. We'll be riding with PAARDE and Mystical Art of Phoenix. Congratulations. We were just at the ball last night where you know all the Phoenixes and certainly the founders. And Leonard is a member of Sparta, so he'll be riding. and I'm not going to give his number out yet till he gets closer. Next Saturday. So if anybody wants to see a really great combo parade, because Sparta's O-line male and Phoenix is a subset of a large female group that's really proactive and very, very good in the community as well as doing beautiful work. That's going to be next Saturday evening. I think it starts like around 6 something. Like I say, I'll be by myself because all my friends, including Lynn, will be on the parade. But I'm going to be right downtown at a hotel, and if I can try and film it, I will certainly do it. I know I can do it on Facebook, but doing the complete streaming on all the programs, platforms, I might not be able. But we will certainly advertise it. So look for our promos. And please subscribe to our channel. I know it's rough. Nobody likes to do that. Nobody likes to get the information. But please subscribe to our channel. And that way you'll be notified in advance whether you see our promos or not. Because we try to put our promos on all the platforms, at least on the regular shows. Like we have talk shows weekly, a week ahead. But some of these things we'll do it somewhat last minute if we don't know for sure the weather's going to be there or whether we can actually get good reception. Lynetta clarifies it's 5:30 p.m. on Saturday. See y'all uptown. I'm sorry, Lynetta, we didn't see you at the ball last night on the after party. We were sitting with the original Phoenix One and her daughter, who was the goddess of the other parade that it used to be, and a lot of the others, as well as a King Arthur's queen from 2 years ago. So we had a lot. And number 3 from that same, what we call number 3 goddess, was also around talking. So we had a really good location, and I'm sorry we didn't see you. Next time, come up and do it. You're welcome, Diane. Thank you for being such an active participant. We don't usually get one with that kind of perseverance. It's usually all quiet. Whatever that old movie is, too old for me to remember. But on the Western Front, well, this is all quiet on the Southern Front. But tonight we really enjoyed Diane's participation. She's really a tremendous asset. I wish I could get somebody to call on our call-in shows on Thursday nights when we co-host or on the weekdays. Nobody wants to use the phone anymore. I don't know if they're afraid of their voice. I know we're all tuned to doing texting. I can't because of visual impairment and fat fingers and all this other, and old time. I'm used to phone. Anyway, I don't want to keep boring you with that. But check us out. Go to our YouTube link. Subscribe, please, and you'll know when we're doing any of our programs, because all of those are back on there. Even some of the early ones when we were on local cable TV. Back in 2000 to 2015, we were on TV. 2016 on as we've been on the internet, and of course have broadened our scope as well as our audience and as well as our guests coming from around the world. We do appreciate those who stayed with us. I don't see. Leonard is asking me about delusion. Let's see. Okay, seems like he might be willing to stay for Crew Delusion. I'm going to say, I'm asking him, can he see it? Is it far off? If it's far off, I'm going to let him come out of the weather, changing weather. But if it's close and he doesn't mind, what a great treat. Double header, huh? So, Diane, I hope you haven't left already, because it looks like she might be gone. Because, you might be in a treat if you've never seen Delusion. It's interesting. It's not as... he says, just got a response. Hello. Delusion is almost here. So, folks, you're getting a double treat. For those who stay with us, now we've lost a few, but I hope those persistent people who wanted to hear this old mug talk have borne with us and will also stay for the Delusion. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to go and record in advance like Len did the actual titles of the floats. But they're not going to have, I don't believe, nearly as many floats as REVUE, which is long-standing. This crew is probably less than 10 years old, and is an offshoot, overflow, whatever you want to call it, from which several more have generated. So it's interesting how these things keep perpetuating and developing sub-niche groups. So Delusion, I don't know how old it is, but I know, let's say 10 years. I mean, I'd have to go look. I didn't do that because I really didn't think that we would be able to do it tonight. One, because I wasn't sure about how long the weather would hold up, how long Len wanted to be out there. But since he's already C2 and he is one of New Orleans' most famous fans of Mardi Gras. I won't say famous in other words, but everyone knows that Len is, he can't be called Mr. Mardi Gras. One of the authors and TV personalities have already dubbed himself that, but he certainly is Prince of Mardi Gras, or certainly the biggest fan of Mardi Gras. Let's do it that. He has a great story how he got involved as a child, but I don't want to say that without his permission. It's really tearjerker if you like those kind of stories. I'm not much on tearjerking, but it's fascinating because I've never seen anybody. Years ago, I had given up Mardi Gras altogether. It's only through our friendship and his involvement that I have been reinstated. And even if it's limited compared to his, now that we do the streaming, I can still stay in the comfort of the home, or if it's too late or bad weather, if he doesn't mind going out and doing the filming. He's doing the legwork, the dog work. But at least, I don't bore you hopefully too much. I am a native, old native, so we both, between he and I, we can answer any question. That's a generalization. Almost any question about Mardi Gras, the parades. Of course, because I eat out a lot, and having a show on restaurants on New Orleans Weekly for 15 years, besides continuing, we know a lot about the restaurants here, new ones especially, and around the world. So don't hesitate to check out those. Or if you're coming, now we can't guarantee you to get you a hotel or something now this late date, but we can tell you what areas to avoid. Or some people would say, oh, well, we can just take the trolley, what we call the streetcar, the trolley from downtown in the quarter to uptown to watch it where it starts. Well, no, you can't, because the RTA, or the Regional Transit Authority, runs all our buses and our streetcars, shuts it down there because the parade goes on the world's famous St. Charles Avenue. So they can't be running on while the parades are going on, because they might have it early in the morning, but they shut it down at a certain point of time. So you would be lost, and it's too far. We're talking about from Canal Street, the beginning of the routes from some area. It's like 45 blocks to the beginning of where the Uptown Parade started. The Uptown Parade started at Napoleon and St. Charles of Britannia, go up St. Charles to downtown, and finish at different locations, depending. But are usually passing by the reviewing stand by the mayor and the politicians on Gallier Hall. So a lot of people catch it there because the two of the TV crews are always there. Now we're looking again at the parade route. Notice the folks are staying. The folks are staying there, so it's not like they want to see that crew delusion. So it hadn't been a big, especially since it's close. They're going to stay out and watch it because they're so happy to be in New Orleans parade. So you and I are going to be seeing this together without any knowledge of it. Perhaps Lynn can tell us any kind of announcement with regard to names of the floats, since I can't read them here. I asked him to chime in. There we go. What does that say? Oh, I missed that. Big glow. What does that say? Something else, huh? Goodness. I missed that, folks. The Mexican sundial. That must be the theme, though. That's the first float. I apologize for not being able to read it, but again, that's our visual limitations. So if Len, hoping he can announce. I've asked him, but it's hard for him to do double duty of both checking out the titles, filming. We don't want to lose the connection at all because we've got such a great connection. But for those that are staying with us, Christopher Fletcher, we want to thank you. Fletcher, excuse me, I think. Or is it? No, it's a Fletcher. Thanks you guys for doing this great service. Oh, what a sweetheart. Male or female, that's a sweetheart as far as I'm concerned. Don't take offense. Christopher, let us know where you're from. Would you mind? We'd love to know whether you're local or whereabouts you're from to see you. I'm going to put you, so people can see I'm not making it up. There he is. Let's see, do they have a picture of you? Oh. too. It's so small for me to see. But anyway, if you don't mind and you're still there, tell us where you're from because we'd love to know how far we're reaching. We always like to, especially not only the, locals like Lenetra, but also the long distance folk, because some of those may never have a chance to come to see it or never have known about it. So we do appreciate that, and we appreciate sticking with us. There's only been a few people that have dropped off, so that's amazing. I know in today's society, everybody's in a rush to go. So we appreciate, but tell your friends or message them. Any of them, please jump on. They can come on Facebook under Bob Bockelman, if you can spell it, under New Orleans TV Network, under the New Deal. Or you can come on YouTube on the REVUE channel. That's my channel for all of our shows are like this, Royal Review. Also on LinkedIn Live under R Review, and on the Twitter Live under Bockelman Bob. They got the name reversed. BOEKEL. And subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see more of this and a lot of others. We have 13 different categories of programming. Here we go. Here's another one. Oh, we got a nice band here. And of course, with the umbrellas, sometimes we call these second parades umbrellas, or if they have handkerchiefs. Some of them second line parades. Where they get the second line, they would be behind the crowds following the other bands dancing. They also do a lot of funerals. Atlanta, oh ATL, that's not. We appreciate it. I have a lot of friends. Atlanta, of course, it's kind of our nemesis. That's only in football. It's a great city. We used to go back there many, many times a year. It's so spread out, though. I couldn't live there, just like Houston. We like our small, especially since we lost half our population with Katrina. But thank you for watching, Christmas, and please spread the word. Watch our promos on all of our platforms. Yeah. Coach, again, is New Orleans TV and the network. Royal Review, watching two marching parades tonight with some floats. Called first one, REVUE, very entertaining. This is Through Delusion. Through of Illusion. Through Delusion. Which is, again, kind of a subset of the other ones where people have left and created, wanted to go with their own creativity, their own direction. And we have so many of these. Not all the same nights, thank goodness. That way people can see them all over the city. Some of them go areas and don't go in other areas. So that's what been, like some of these won't go to the uptown where some of the most of the commercial parades start. There you go, see my little ugly gnome. Very hand. If you I'm sorry you object to my talking, but I'm a product of TV where dead air is not appreciated by all folks. And just to hear the background noise doesn't entertain everyone. Again, these aren't musical accompaniment during the whole time. Some of them will have bands, some of them not. As I mentioned before, they don't all play songs that you can equate to, just keeping time for the artists to work. But I apologize, and of course, you don't have to watch it since narration. I appreciate it, anyway. Okay. There we go. Another one. Throne, that must be the king. A beautiful throne.
I'm so hungry.
we go. Another marching group. I think of King Date instead of King Cake. So we have a pause in the parade, and of course, if I don't say anything, you just don't hear anything but background noise, which some people, I guess, want. Unfortunately, I'm used to doing this for 20 years, not only live streaming, but live shows on TV, and I can't help but narrate. So on this one, there won't be as much because we don't have any preparation with regard to the titles of the float. But even in the others, we don't control the whole thing, but mainly situations where there are spaces and we need to fill it up with time because with sound, we can't. I can't abide dead air, just background conversation. As we said, we're on multiple platforms. Check us out. Subscribe if you wish. We'd love to be able to bring you not only these shows, but many of the other shows that relate to other categories: food, yes, music, art, theater, actors, fashion, you name it. If you know anyone that has talent, send them our way. Everything's free. They're not charged anything. We don't. This is all individually sponsored by ourselves. Nobody. We don't get any revenue. We're not professional, so we're not. That's concern, unfortunately, that we can't be as good as some of the big ones. Okay, looks like they're moving. Here we go. Okay, you can see this one's a little bit more disorganized than the first parade. Also, it goes at a pace. Remember, it's following closely to the Crew de Vue, so that's why some of these stops will be more noticeable than with Crew de Vue. There you go. Show me some bees, man. Those just joining us, this is the Crew Delusion following the Crew de Vue, live from New Orleans, Louisiana at the beginning of the French Quarter on the Legion Fields in Royal Street. Start all the way through the French Quarter. I was hoping this was a crew de Muffalettas. We have a lot of marching crews that have symbols of New Orleans as their theme, but I'm not sure if that's it or not. Great looking outfits. Oh, we're getting some dancing now. the golden lady, the golden girls, huh? There you go.
And green. Next
Purple, gold, and green are Mardi Gras colors on this young lady. Look at that with the beautiful pet sash. Little Bo Peep, baby. Here we go again. Purple, gold, and green. It's marching group.
We love Point Berlin. We love
Okay, there we go. Another honoree on a throne. Ah, someone masked up. So unusual to see out in the crowd. Oh, here's a pretty one. This is a beautiful one, huh? Not sure who he or she is, but it's a great headpiece, a great bust, and, literally bust as well as figuratively. Some of our bicycle groups. Here we go, all decorated. I'm from New Orleans, folks. It's the Crew Delusion following the Crew de VIEUX. Staying with you for a while. There's the bike groups that ride all through the city at night. Wonderful LED lightings. Interesting. Look at this one. Oh, look at this puppet. Fantastic. Great dancer. In the crowd building, we're looking at Elysian Fields at the corner where it turns. It gets into the big crowd. Right. Oh. Great outfits. Look at these costumes, folks. Presumably Caribbean type music if we hadn't seen it. Oh, yeah, look at this. We've got a much smaller float. That's what's good about these groups. All handmade. Another giant puppet. Oh, the puppet moving that quickly. Glad to see one of our friends, artist friend Scott Gorell from Australia, was watching tonight. That's a long way off, and wonderful artists using paper creations of beautiful, especially natural birds and other things in Hawaii, where he's watching. I was Hawaii or Australia, I believe. Thank you. Let's see. We'll take some time. Who else is email? Derek Ross, our co-host, Thursday night talk show. He got some followers watching us on our channels. Let's see what else. Facebook. Let's see if we had Diana who was watching. Yeah. Scott was watching on Facebook. Renee Dene is watching on YouTube, I believe. He's another local artist who works in. He's a metallurgist doing wonderful things, specifically with recycling bullets of weapons and turning them into functional as well as cosmetic aesthetic pleasantries. And you can watch his program if you want to see his episode and go back in the archive. Anyway. There we go. Got another one. I think we got a float in the background, so we'll keep going. Is that raincoat, slickers? Okay, another one. Rainbow that we all know. Wow, look at this float. Great colors on this, huh? Every one of these floats seem to have a person riding it, a king, queen, or whatever.
Hey, girl, wait a minute.
Hey, queen. She says, hey, queen. Uh-oh. Petty say, petty bite. Oh, boy. Oh, is that the Pope or bishop? What do we have of it? With his horn announcement, beautiful. More like a racetrack, doesn't it? Acknowledging the crowd. And of course, the ladies in waiting right behind them, all dressed up in their royal attire.
Oh, hell is waiting. She ain't going.
Happy Mardi Gras, Miss Beautiful Lady.
Got the king in the back, and then eighth, Henry VIII. When is that?
Trying to be quiet. All right. Clap it up. Clap it up. I won't bring it under my lap.
Okay, folks. We've got a few more. We've been an hour and 21 minutes already. Another float coming up. Pretty colors. Let's see what it looks like. The real beauty. Look on a bicycle. Look how well they equipped that bicycle, huh? Ah, look at this one, folks. Like a giant butterfly almost. A lot of, oh, beautiful. Look. Animated. Wow.
Okay, I'm with it. We ain't gonna piss it off for the rest of the night.
Oh, look how nice, huh?
North Carolina, lift it up!
Wow. And all the LED lights are beautiful. Oh, what's this? All right, now they
Oh, thank you, you take that.
wow, look at this. Trash recycling. Perfect. Environmentally friendly. Look at this, folks. Presumably that's what it's from. Green mushrooms. Okay, folks, I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down. People are dropping off. We appreciate again. This was Lagniappe, as we call it in New Orleans. So we do appreciate it. If you'd like to come back to us, we would certainly love to be doing some of these things for you. All right. Have a great weekend, as they say in New Orleans. Well, we don't say, but take care and hopefully enjoy yourself while you're here. Take care.